Should I call this video something like a sincere attempt at following a Bob Ross tutorial?
Yeah.
This video is brought to you by Squarespace. So at this point in time, I have created 2 videos on this channel in which I attempt to follow a Bob Ross tutorial, but then in those videos, I decided to make them more original, and in those specific cases, I Halloweenified them and made them spooky. But despite being someone who has watched Bob Ross since the small age of honestly who knows what, I can't keep track, and Bob Ross being one of the people who taught me how to paint in the first place, I have yet to, as an adult person, earnestly try to follow a Bob Ross tutorial. And I have especially never tried to earnestly follow one using the correct mediums and paints. You see, in those 2 previous videos, not only did I go and spookify the painting at the end, I also in the first place used acrylic paint instead of oil paint, which if you don't know anything about Bob Ross, is kind of counterproductive to the entire tutorial process and how he paints in the first place. Bob Ross uses a very specific wet-on-wet technique. It's a very specific way to oil paint. And as one may guess, it doesn't translate very well to acrylic paints. In the most recent video that I did, I have said that I wanted to try this whole process again with oil paints.
One of these years you could just use oil here.
And in the past videos, my brother has also been along for the ride, only in a commentary capacity.
Like whenever you mix like every color together, it starts to turn brown.
I didn't know that actually.
So this week, I want to try to earnestly follow a Bob Ross tutorial, and my brother is actually going to come into the action. He's going to earnestly try to follow one with me. That's right, brother. We're going to see what you know. All of your critique of my technique and how I'm not doing it the way Bob does it, let's see how that goes. Square up. So without any further ado, let's choose a Bob Ross tutorial for me to follow this week and get painting. But before we get into it, if you clicked on this video, you might be an artist. And if you're an artist working in freelance or the industry, you probably need a portfolio, and you can easily make one of those with this video sponsor, Squarespace. With all the busyness of being a working artist, Squarespace makes it quick and easy for you to create your website by allowing you to choose from dozens of flexible website templates and then customize your website with your choice of text, colors, website graphics, and website pages. Setting up your portfolio gallery itself is made simple with tools like automatic image scaling, which allows you to select your files from your device, and with the click of a button, Squarespace arranges your gallery in a visually appealing way for you. And it's just as easy to keep your gallery and site updated as you and your work change over time, because you can continue to upload to your galleries with the click of a button, and thanks to their drag and drop website builder Fluid Engine, adding or changing website media is intuitive and doesn't interfere with your previous design choices. But Squarespace's convenience doesn't end there, because as artists, many of us like to sell our wares, and for that, Squarespace has an e-commerce platform that you can host right alongside your website, which has all the tools you need if you create your products yourselves, like shipping labels, inventory, website analytics, and the ability to host payments all in one place with fast and simple onboarding. But if you're like me and focus a little bit less on the selling side, you can still sell merch of your artwork using their custom merch feature, and a print-on-demand service will handle inventory, production, and shipping for you. And with the holidays coming up, their new payment options like Klarna, ACH Direct Debit, Apple Pay, Afterpay, and ClearPay will make your wares even more accessible for your customers. So if you're in the market for a website or portfolio to display all of your beautiful artwork, head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, head to squarespace.com/PricklyAlpaca to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you as always to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. Welcome back. We're in the studio now, and at this point I would like to introduce our special guest for today. Everybody please give a very warm welcome to Bob Ross himself.
Hey there, thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here, but wow, you came a long way.
A long way, but it was worth it.
It was worth it? Thank you.
How you doing on this Thanksgiving Day?
Very well, thank you.
So, looks like we already primed our canvas with this hot gesso.
We sure did. So, before we get started, the tutorial that at least I am going to follow is going to be Season 20, Episode 9, Winter Paradise.
The tutorial that I'm gonna follow is my own heart.
He's gonna follow his own heart? Yeah, that's why I have less of a camera focus on here, because we're gonna periodically check in as he follows his own heart today. And I am gonna actually try to create a good painting.
I'm going to try it, and we're gonna see how it works out.
This is the second time that I have ever oil painted in my life, and the first time I was a child, so like that's just, it is what it is. It wasn't gonna be good. And this gentleman over here, never oil painted before, hasn't painted since he was a child.
I haven't oil painted before.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
You gotta start somewhere, and we are going to start at the beginning. I've already got some paint paint on my palette here. So we're gonna just like get in and see what we can do. All right, let's listen.
Palette, which means
limited palette.
Let's start out with a little alizarin crimson.
Oh, we got the lizard and crimson already. I didn't think the lizard and crimson was gonna show up quite this early.
Not this early?
Yeah. I'm going to take my very haggard 2-inch brush and I'm just gonna try to go in here.
I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna try to put some blue-gray in the sky and see how that works out.
And a little bit of pink.
Oh, this is not pink. This is not pink at all. Hold on, we need more of this. And my brush is already getting in the black. That's not good. That's not good.
This turns out to be a disaster, you know? I mean, like, what did we say last time? We write tragedies.
We write tragedies. Oh. Oh.
The North Pole. It doesn't
North
have...
Pole? Oh, that's, you're already doing something and I'm over here trying to just get my paint open. We're going back in.
Oh.
He says it's not something we should labor over or worry about. Bob, I am very much laboring and worrying.
And worrying, yeah.
It should make you happy.
It's not making me happy. Why did I think this time would be different?
Because we're using oil paints. Psych.
It's not different. It looks the exact same that the freaking acrylic paint did. Is this what Bob wants me to do?
We'll get there, I don't know. I'm already feeling that we're gonna be reapplying gesso at some point here because everything's drying and difficult to move.
Okay, so he's going into the blue. All right, we get some blue on there. He says we're not even going to clean the brush. So I'm not cleaning. He says don't clean the brush. I don't clean the brush. I do what he says.
Here you go.
Do you see this? Could it be that the brush that I'm using is just like awful? Oh.
Just blend a little touch of that blue into here.
Oh, we're blending a touch of the blue. Why does my blue not look like his blue? It's so muddy and weird. Why does it look like this? I know some of this is because my gesso dried. My gesso is drying so rapidly.
Yeah, I noticed that
What's
too.
up with that? What's up with that, gesso? Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah, I'm not too panicked because at least I have a sky, so I'm like feeling okay about it, I guess.
See, the thing that he was talking about the streaks happening is happening because my gesso is dry.
My brush is getting a little bit cattywampus already.
Yeah, there's some cattywampus going on here, all right.
It's an optimistic start here. Like, well, I have a sky, so I'm just gonna go with that and be like, you know, things could be worse. Let's put some clouds up here. All right, let's get some titanium white.
Titanium white. I'm already using like a lot of paint thinner in my technique, and I'm like, does he do?
Oh.
Is that advisable?
I'm now seeing why he blends the bottom of the clouds out because it's all messy under this. It's all messy underneath the top of the cloud I'm making. Oh, that's brilliant. Like, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that mess.
My overalls are coming undone. Like, what is? What is going on here today? What? Oh, that is dark. That's dark. This is what I get for trying to blend.
Here a little bit, like.
Why do I feel we're like good cop, bad cop in the tone of this episode? Because I'm just like, what's going on? I'm losing my mind, and you're like, I think we need a happy cloud right in here.
There's gonna be some kind of delicate clouds. They're like they're not too
delicate clouds, much like my constitution at this juncture. Yeah. You're like already on clouds. I'm still just trying to like make it work over here, and I'm already getting winded.
Winded.
Like my hand hurts. I'm a little sweaty. I don't think it's nearly as bad as the differential like that it usually has, but it's taking me a lot longer. Some water on the bottom part.
If you want a cold
candy canes going on. This is your world. It has to look like you're painting.
I would like to leave my world if that's okay.
Rage quits the joy of painting.
I'm not really opening my heart to the joy of painting, and I'm sorry. I just don't think oils are the medium for me. That's why I like have never used them.
I mean, the thing about mine is like, mine's not very complicated right now. Like, it's literally, it doesn't get much simpler.
I like it though. It has a simple charm to it. I think like the color palette that I'm arriving at is just very subtle pastel. I think I might just commit to that rather than trying to do too much. All right, there we go. We got a lake. We have the presence of a lake. There's like kind of a hard line right here. It's fine. We're just gonna continue on.
You can just take this and blend it.
All right, I'm getting a little bit more toward your territory here, Kira.
Yeah, welcome to my world.
Just a happy little cloud using just the corner of the fan brush. Blue, a little alizarin crimson.
You're doing way better now.
Am I?
Yeah, like that's a legit cloud.
Oh, thank you.
Now I'm the one that's in a little bit of trouble here. I gotta fix the bottom of my sky here.
A little shadow, a little indication. I do like the way the oils are interacting.
Yeah, no, I like it. I just have to kind of adjust here a bit.
Gently go across. You can do that.
I like a cloudy sky. I didn't intend to make him quite this fluffy, but like maybe this is just the world that he lives in.
You know, maybe this is a painting tutorial in the sense that we do this and then everybody who knows how to paint tells us in the comments call a tutorial, but not for me.
Some texture in the cloud. Consistency of the oils is rather nice. Like,
that is actually. Are you saying the exact opposite like just a minute ago though?
Well, because whenever you're blending with those giant brushes that don't have the best quality bristles, it's not so nice. And overall, I don't know if I care for the experience. Clouds! We have some clouds.
I just want my sky to be a little bit lower.
That's beautiful.
You mean like in a philosophical sense?
Yeah, I just want my sky to be a little bit lower, man.
I want it to be lower so I can touch it.
I don't want
You're
to
officially ahead of me again.
do a little bit of this. It's like whenever the clouds have some perspective going on. You got some wispies in there. Okay, let's maybe just catch up with Bob, hoping he's gonna get up to some mountains. All right, so like this is my first time mixing mountain color on a palette with the correct knife. I have the correct knife this time. Are you proud of me? Executive Confuser obtained the correct knife for us.
Oh yeah.
Are you aware that someone changed their name on Patreon to Executive Confuser?
Really?
Yeah. All right, my other camera is overheated. I'm just gonna do some mountains on this camera. It's never worked for me before. Wait, it's working. It's working. The fact that it's working at all a little bit is just very delightful for me. Camera, what are you doing? Is this camera not on?
Devil's gonna get me for telling stories.
He says Devil's gonna get me for telling stories.
That Devil's gonna get me on that story right there.
There's physically too much paint on the canvas, or like too much for my personal liking. Hard to get the texture near the top. It's easier near the bottom here. Like if you just apply pressure, you will get the texture that you're looking for. We're gonna get a little bit more blue and a little bit more titanium white. So it's shadow time.
Cut off a little roll of paint.
A little roll of paint.
Of some nice little shadow areas here. No pressure, absolutely no pressure.
I'm sensing a little pressure. Under pressure, pushing down on me, pushing down on you. Okay, I think we need to now blend my mountains.
You got a lot of paint on there, I'm realizing.
I have a lot of paint. I think that that's one of my issues. I should have, whenever I started the mountains, been a little bit more careful about not overwhelming the amount of paint.
I just can't get the paint thinner out of my brushes.
I like it when my mountains possess dimension. See, I haven't looked over at yours in a minute. It's very wide. I like it.
Let's see what we can do with that.
Would you like to see the foundation? And this is the foundation of the mountains from the Executive Confuser. I think very strong silhouette, good clouds overall. I think it's coming together.
You know, I've got just a little more work to do.
It's working well. I like it. My mountains, Bob.
You? I have an idea, actually. I could do the best that I can here and just leave it at that at a certain point. And then your next video can be saving my brother's painting.
I mean, we could try that.
Kira. Oh no. Look what she did to my painting.
I'm sorry.
Hold on, cameras. Y'all get that?
Sorry.
Look at that.
I didn't know my brush was so wet, slick, and ready to go. I'm very sorry. I did not
Hold on, no, it's
know that I was
cool.
going to do that.
Keep in mind, this is not the same video we've made previously. This is more casual than ever.
This is so casual, I just got paint on the floor. But we have drop cloths down, so it doesn't matter.
I'm a mud mixer.
You're not a mud mixer, you're a person.
That's what you said last time. I remember that actually.
See how soft that gets.
I see how soft yours is, Bob.
That's a good one actually. That's how I'm feeling too. I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah, he's like, see, look at how good it is. And I'm like, no, I don't look.
Ours look a little bit different there, Bob.
Okay, we're whipping out the palette knife.
Let's have us a tree. Lives right there.
All right, tree's gonna live.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I have too much paint on my canvas for this technique.
Yeah.
I'm a mud mixer. I'm a mud mixer. You see this tree that I'm trying to pump out here? It's terrible.
I'm going to estimate that Bob's paints are probably like something like 10 times better than these, because this is like...
Yeah, it's like rough. See, part of my strategy, I think, is gonna be to literally take paint physically off of my canvas.
I've had to do that.
So I can paint some actual trees here. Look at that. That's freaking terrible.
I just have to fix it somehow. The idea is there. I just have to like figure out how I'm going to like bring it together. Because look, what was I going for? I was going for the light part in the middle, and it's there. The light part's in the middle.
I put too much paint on my mountains, and it's impeding me from being able to do good trees. These reflections, guys.
The thing about the Joy of Painting series is he would put new paint on the canvas and just like, yeah, no, it's not a big deal. We can like move it or paint over or take it off or whatever. I feel like here it's like every single drop of paint is very committal.
Yeah, it's like either you can't get rid of it or you just, it's too much.
I have to spend so long fixing that.
He's always just like, you might get some extra paint on your canvas. Don't even worry about that. I'm like, I'm very worried about it, Bob. I'm very worried about it.
Yeah, write tragedies.
We write tragedies. Someone in the comments is gonna know like how royally we have messed up by utilizing the white gesso more than we're supposed to.
What are y'all doing?
Someone who's been oil painting for 30 years is gonna be like, you sweet summer child. You don't know. This tree, he's a bristly fella. He's upstaging everyone else. Just like Bob does to my painting.
After this, I'll just go back to Warframe.
Okay, I think I'm going to attempt to use this brush for this. Some bushes here.
I'm just like...
You really have just been doing that same thing for like a little while now, huh?
I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't get it.
Painting is, as it happens, hard. I've been doing art for like 15 years and even I kind of don't get it, so don't feel too bad. I'm like, what the heck
I don't feel bad. I'm trying to decide if I can wipe this one spot I don't like out with a paper towel.
Follow your heart.
Oh wait, that's kind of working.
Okay, we need snow.
See?
There we go.
Better already.
There you go.
Okay.
Ooh.
I always like to have big trees in my painting, so guess what?
Guess what?
The way you said that, yeah. I like to have some big trees, so guess what?
Guess what? Okay, there's some land here now. We made a decision about there being land here. Not an intentional one, but decision nonetheless. In my world, there is also going to live some land out this way.
Maybe there's some more right here. Wow, that made it worse.
See, even I'm having to use the rag technique. We're gonna take a little risk.
Indeed.
The next day I waited for the painting to dry a little bit so that I could do a couple of touch-ups, especially on these little rapid splashes. Because it's me, I also decided to add a crescent moon and some stars, and because it's me, I also whipped out the airbrush and decided to add some glow to those. I also didn't feel like I had enough of the pink sky captured in the water reflection, so I added a little bit of airbrushing to that. And after signing my name, Bob Ross style, my first earnest attempt at a Bob Ross painting was finally done. And this is what it looked like. Also decided to show off my brother's painting, and he decided to go a little bit more minimal with his because he was struggling with the technique a bit. But for our first time painting in almost 15 years, maybe longer, I think that this is really great. Good job, brother. Thank you again for allowing to mooch off of you for my content.
Hello there, and thank you so much for watching till the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed my earnest attempt at following a Bob Ross tutorial. I would say the painting turned out pretty good. It's still not as good as I would like it to be. There's a couple of things about oil paint that I wasn't being like completely aware of whenever I was working on it. A couple of the things, like in particular layering too much paint up and then that paint mixing in with the paint I'm trying to apply to the canvas. Something that I would have liked the foresight to avoid. I did not necessarily manage that in this painting. I think that in the future, if I tried using oil paints again, I would have a lot more knowledge under my belt so that I could actually use the technique properly. I also have a little bit of exposure to the advantages of oil paints, especially like how easy it is to blend them whenever you get a good consistency on the canvas. It's something that I might actually utilize for other paintings. I think that especially painting the human figure would be a lot better with oil paints because it would allow me to like blend and mix a lot easier. So that's something that I can take away from this video. Oil paint might not be the medium for me for landscapes, but it might be the medium for me for like portraiture, which is something that I think that I would like to try in the future. All in all, I think this painting turned out nice. It's, you know, not chaotic to look at like my past Bob Ross attempts were. I think I'm gonna end up giving it to a family member for Christmas. Like, here you go. Here's the first normal piece of art that you've received from me in a while. I hope you like it. But of course, the biggest thank you for this video and every single one of my videos goes to my amazing patrons and especially my executive producers.
I do TKD, Alcerbatum, Ren, Bandolph the Yellow, Cloud Max, Marita Wasner, Villy Smelly, Stabby Horse, Ariana Trenta, Ember Creeps, Cardia X, Christina Kimtia Art, Call Me Ash, Blaze Ravenscar, Lunira, Mossy Raven, Executive Confuser, I'm not saying that name on the internet, ABW Makes, Sarah, Icegavan, Awendu, Liana, Ermler Jean, Anubix, Breeza, Sony, Brian, Phoenix, PNG Not Found, Freedom and Gus Gus, Cat, Dodo, Zyle S, Agent Sketchy, Thea Maia, Lovisa, Eloquent Silence, Inozine, Hypnos, Katie, Sweet Winter Garden, Gravity Drop, I Hang Out with Cats at Parties, and Bean the Bread.